per se qualified in order to do it, to make sure that you're offering the correct advice. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that I'm already doing it, because I do have some counselors that come to me and bring me students, because they're too busy, what they call like paper pushing. And I think that's why I'm kind of frowning. I'm not thinking to do the counseling in the education field. I'd rather go the community route and working with adults.
Okay. So, wow, that says a whole lot about you, yes. And so you did say that at home you have a great support system.
Yes.
Okay, and then just going back, just to make sure that I'm covering everything, and you're married.
Yes.
Yes. And Jen, just actually going through here and just hearing you speak to me, sounds that you work well with others because people are continuously coming to you and seeking advice. Okay, so those are some good qualities, I would say. And you're currently enrolled in a graduate school so that you can pursue some of those dreams that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. You get along well with the people who you're in school with?
Yes, actually, there was an issue where I had a presentation. I was the first to go up, and I covered hauling codes. And there was another student, and she kind of kept, not necessarily interrupting, but she had a lot of questions. And that was my first experience for somebody to, kind of challenge me.
Okay.
And so it was a little. It was a little scary, and a little scary because she's been in the program a lot longer than I have.
Yes.
So that was a little discouraging, kind of.
And so how did you overcome that?
I went home and talked to my husband, and he's like, babe, I told you you were gonna have some people that were gonna, try to discourage you or try to pull you down, but you're better than that. You can do it. And I support you. And so sometimes I kind of need that reassurance.
And I think most people do. And what's so important is that you have that support system that you can rely on. Okay. And so that same support system that's there and pushing you to go ahead and finish school, it's the same support system that you lean on when you're going through other things like that.
Thank you.
Okay. It sounds like really good. Just really quick, just want to finish making sure I go over this. It says your work performance. My work performance is poor. You said it's not poor, so you're supporting yourself. You're saying that I do a really good job. I'm good at what I do. Okay, because you're validating yourself, and sometimes we have to validate ourselves in order to move on to the next stage. Because a lot of times we may not have someone that's there, but you have some things that you can reflect on and go back to and say, I've done this before, and so it's good that you have those experiences. Yes. Okay. So, well, good. I like that you feel supported and that you're confident enough to take those extra steps, because sometimes it's not so easy, to take those steps in order to move into a different career path, with some of the things that are going on. Okay. Well, that's just a brief of what we done. When I look at your assessment that you took, I just want to briefly go over the results. I'm not sure if you kind of understood them. And what this assessment does is it kind of matches your personality with different career paths that we kind of advise students to take, and not only students, but someone who's already been on a career path for 10, 20 years, and they realize that they're not so happy with it, it does not fit them, and so they want to move out. And sometimes people just change because they're looking for a change, in a different, a different arena of things. And so this is a personality test right here, and it matches your personality with particular careers. And so just so that we can look at it, I'm going to give you a list of top 10 careers that may fit your personality. It seems like they fit your personality. And then about 4 or 5 careers that definitely doesn't seem like you might be interested in. But who knows,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
sometimes
funny.
the test can be
Yeah.
tricky, you know. And then sometimes results from the test are not so much, you know. Sometimes we answer test questions based on what we think somebody wants us to say, but then if you were true about this, then
I'm
this
curious,
probably show you something. So the name of the test is a personality test, and it was created by a theorist. His name is Carl Jung. And so what this test says about you, and it's based on different criteria, and one of them is based on whether you're extroverted or introverted. And looking at the scores, you scored really high, saying that you're an extroverted person. And an extroverted person, based on this, says it tends to be outwardly focused. So that means you're focused on things that are not so much inside of you, but things that are surrounding you. Yeah, things that surround you. And so they said that these people are talkative, assertive, expressive, and confident. Yes, and so it seems like that might be you're based on listening to what you're saying. So, and you're extroverted. Another criterion is sensor versus intuitive, and they said that an intuitive person tries to understand the meaning of things rather than just the specifics. So you don't just want to know, okay, well, it's this, it's this, it's this. So how did we get to this? Seems like that might be a question of an intuitive person might want to, yes. And so some of you, it says you're creative, insightful, as well as academically and learned person. And that does say a lot about you, because not only are you have acquired a bachelor's degree, but you've also working on a master's degree right now. And so you have learned, and you've worked in a career for quite some time. You've taken different assessments, and I'm sure you had to study. And so that does say some things about you. It says also one of your strengths is that you grasp the big picture, and you're constantly asking why, because that sounds so much like you.
It does.
Yes. Okay. It says you're thinkers versus a feeler. They said that you are more of a feeler. And those qualities can be good because in working with any field, it said some of the characteristics are you're being considerate and you're compassionate.
Oh, wow. See, I would have thought that I was more of a thinker.
Think of more of a thinker. Tell me more about that.
I just, well, because I always tend to, ask for more details and want to know more, and I'll just sit and I'll think about it and try to figure out different strategies and, different ideas, try to think outside the box.
Okay.
And so, it surprised me that I would be a feeler, like more compassion. I can see that, though. I can see, because I have students that'll tell me, Miss, you're too nice to be in high school, or, a social worker mentioned, that I was sensitive, or, things like that. So I can see that.
Okay. So if you look at the spectrum right here, there's not such a great difference.
Oh.
Okay, if you look at the spectrum, it's 60 and 40, and so it's not such a wide span. So I'm sure everybody's a combination of some of all of them, but you're more, based on this, you're more of a filler than I think. Yes. Okay. And then going to another category, it's judgers versus perceivers, and you are a perceiver, and it says that you appreciate flexibility, freedom, and individualism. And so as a counselor, since you're looking into the counseling field, you are able to be an individual, and you do have freedom in the counseling field because you are working with whatever group of clients that you feel most comfortable working with. And then you get to choose your own hours. You have a lot of flexibility with that. So, yes. So, then see, if you look at the span right here, this was a greater span, the 620 and then 80. So there's a great span in there. So now you can kind of go back and look at it compared to the other one. And then, so based on those results, here's a list of top jobs that you might be interested in. And, I know that you said you wouldn't want to be a school psychologist. But if you look at that, school psychologist scored 97%. You said you were more interested in the clinical?
Yeah.
But if you go down just a little bit farther, clinical falls right under that with 95%.
That's funny.
So that is interesting
Yeah.
because you work with students, and that's
Yeah.
probably why, because you have this attachment, to students right
Yeah.
now. But you like to move out of that arena,
Mhm.
and this falls right under there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so this kind of gives you a list of about 10 different things. And if you go down a little bit further,
Mhm.
educational, guidance, school, and vocational counselor falls right there again. So you might want to
Yeah.
stick into the counseling
Think
field.
about it.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying counseling because it's
Okay.
psychologist,
Good.
counseling,
Yeah.
counseling. So it says right there that you are on the
Right.
path. Yeah, you're on the path that you like to
Well,
be
see,
on.
and I was in real estate before, which was totally opposite.
Mhm.
And I just felt like I was never, I wasn't doing something that I enjoyed.
Okay.
And then that's where I decided to switch and try to go into the education field. And I figured, that I could get into teaching. And then I think I just got a little discouraged when I took the EC6 exam. And, I felt, in a sense, I felt like God has his reasons. And it's because he wanted me to be a counselor and not a teacher. And maybe I would have been too comfortable being a teacher. And never, progressed or never,
I understand.
Does that make sense?
Completely. It does makes total complete sense. And it sounds to me that you also have a strong faith base right now.
Oh.
And so it's going a little bit farther. These are some careers based on your assessment that you definitely would not want to fall into. And so these are low percentages in a surgeon, a coroner, internist, soil and plant sciences. So these are some things that you're definitely not interested in. And then if you go all the way down to the very bottom with 6% pharmacist.
Yeah.
So, and so it looks like you're a person, the careers that you chose are people helpers. You want to work with people. And then if you look at some of your qualities and characteristics that say you're talkative, you're considerate, you're compassionate, and when working in those fields, you'll definitely need those qualities. Okay. So tell me how you think how this measures up to how you view yourself?
It's good. I needed to hear, reassurance. I needed to hear that I was doing the right thing sometimes. Because I don't feel like I get that from my parents or from my family. And now, I get it from my husband, but it just sometimes feels like it's not enough. So it's nice to hear, you tell me that.
And so actually you're telling yourself this. So
Thank
yes,
you.
because this is an assessment that you took. And so it's just a confirmation for you through a tool that you use. So it just lets you know exactly. And does this kind of give you some reassurance that you're kind of headed in the right direction?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that it does. Well, I'm glad that we could go over this assessment. Hope that it provided you with some valuable information that you can use. What I would like to do, because time is kind of winding up right now, but what I would like to do is I'd like to provide you with this piece of information. You go home, you sit, look at it, see how it really pairs up with you.
Okay.
And I know your concern is that you're wondering if you're going into the right field, but and even deciding whether you should change from where you are. Go through this, look at it, and then tell me what you come back with after some time of reflection.
Yeah.
We'll meet back up in about a week. We'll come back and we'll talk about it, and then after we've talked about it, we'll come up with some strategies that we can use so that we can see that, kind of set some things in place so that we can help you stay on the track that you're on, if that's what you like to do, or even if you'd like to, stir away and do something a little bit different. We can just kind of go through it step by step, take it one step at a time, and just see, how we can make you a happier person, All right?
Thank you.
How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, well then, on your way out, there is a receptionist at the front desk, and if you can go ahead and set that appointment up now, I'd be glad to go ahead and have you on my books, and then, and I look forward to seeing
That'd be
you
good.
next week.
Thank you.
All right.